Hello and welcome to my channel. The variations in the color red in this bloom pour relates to the fire energy that is connected to inspiration and vitality. The pomegranate, the symbol for prosperity and fertility in many cultures. I absolutely loved using all the variations of red in this bloom pour, and I am about to show you exactly how I did that. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for stopping by. I hope that you will enjoy this video production with me and that you will also be inspired to use these colors in a range of light to dark red for your next bloom pour. So as you know, I use a glass spinner. This is a 35 centimeter glass spinner, and on top of my spinner I'm using a wooden board. It's a board that I've taken from a cupboard shelf and I've repurposed it, and it sits beautifully snug on top of my spinner, and I'm able to use it for different size canvases. I'm currently using a 30 by 40 centimeter canvas in this bloom pour blowout. Now I have tweaked, adapted my base paint, my base house paint, and I wanted to show you the dried results of my painting in the previous video, the video just before this one. I had adapted my base color for this painting, and I just wanted to show you how beautifully smooth my paintings dry. So the house paint is mixed with a cup of Dutch Pour mix. So it's house paint mixed with my glue and water mix, and it's really thinned down in this video and the previous one. I'm going to put my recipe down in the information or description box below. Please go and check it out so that you can see how I have adapted my base color mix. I don't only use the house paint any longer. I also add a Dutch Pour mix that I use my glue and water as well. And I found that the bloom paints adhere beautifully to it, and the painting dries smooth. I don't have any issues with white spots or flocculation. The paints really dry beautifully smooth. So as always, I flood my canvas. Because the paint is a little bit thinner than I usually have it, I actually added a lot more paint to the canvas. I am just popping air bubbles that you find that comes to the surface, and I'm starting to lay down the colors for my background. This is a metallic gold, and I'm going to list all the colors at the bottom for you. It's at the bottom of the screen, so that you can also follow along, and also if you need to, you can make your notes. So I'm just popping the gold paint on the white pillow, and I'm going to top that off with a pistachio. Just making puddles at the moment that I'm going to blow out for the background to my blooms. I prefer to have a color behind the blooms than just the stark white of the pillow paint. So try to limit my negative space and have some interest behind the blooms. So the color I'm mixing up is a lime. Just stirring it vigorously to get the paint moving a bit, because it has been standing for a while. So topping the pistachio with a lime green. It's nice to use a teaspoon. That's just a plastic teaspoon that I've salvaged from a takeout. You tend to salvage all your little bits and pieces and pots and bobs when you do pouring, because every little thing helps. Now I'm adding the cell activator. This is white cell activator. I make that with the Australian Floetrol and Amsterdam paints. So my blow dryer, I use it on a cool setting, and it has a louver front, so I'm showing you the louver front, and that helps me to direct the airflow. So I use it on a low speed first, and then I switch over to a high speed later on. So first on low speed, just moving that cell activator over the puddle, and then I switch to a high speed, as you will be able to see me doing now, because you'll see the paint spread more rapidly when I switch over to the higher speed. So I always blow directly onto my puddle. I find that it creates the cells and the lacing for me. It's something that works for me, and I'm happy to blow out my blooms this way. I move my spinner instead of tilting my hairdryer. I blow one direction from right to left. I'd rather move my spinner than move my hairdryer upside down. And all sides. So this works for me. I feel that I have a lot more control with a blowout if I'm able to spin the canvas on the spinner while I am blowing out the blooms. So if this is the first time for you joining my channel, thank you for stopping by and for clicking on this video today. I encourage you to please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. Thank you so much for stopping by. Let me give you a close-up view. That's what the background looks like. I'm often conflicted. Do I continue with the blooms on top of this beautiful background? But the purpose for my video is to create some bloom blowouts on top of my background. So let me do that. I lay down the metallic gold once again, and then I'm going to add some colors in reds, light to dark or dark to light reds. I'm starting with a Merlot, which is a color that I've mixed up myself. I've added some black to a red until I was happy with the color. The next color that I've placed on top of the Merlot was a Ferrari red, and then I've added a crimson, and now I'm adding a color called True Red. So variations in the color red for me today. Not easy working with red on a white base, and that's why I decided to do the blowouts background first, and also really saturate my base with different shades of red. I'm topping it off with a pearl white, and then a black cell activator, and then a white cell activator on top of the black. Now I'm coming in with my blow dryer, spreading the cell activator over the colors, and then blowing out the petals with the blow dryer on a high speed. So I'm once again moving the spinner and blowing out those petals from right to left. I just move my hairdryer from the right hand side to the left hand side as I move the spinner. So making another puddle this time. You never know where this is going to lead to. I have a picture in my head of what I want the painting to look like. I'm clear on the background colors. I am clear on my colors for my blooms. But when you get into the process of your creation, you really don't know how many puddles you're going to need to lay down. So sometimes I have one and I'm happy with the outcome, and that's exactly where I leave the painting. And on other times I will do more than 5 blooms on one canvas, and I won't stop until I'm happy with the visual, visually satisfied with the painting. So I can't tell you how many puddles I'm going to end up with. It may be 2, it may be 5, it may be 3. So once I've blown out the second bloom, that's when you make, you step away from your painting, you have another look. And if it's visually pleasing to you and you get that heart thumping, good feeling, then you've reached success with your painting. So that's the process for me. I can't tell you now how many blooms I'm going to have. It depends on the outcome, and if I'm happy with it, then that's where I'll stop. So the same thing here for me. I'm blowing out the petals once again with the blow dryer and just adjusting the composition, having a look at it, and then I'll start to, adapt it. With my bamboo stick, you'll see I would use a skewer stick just to create some definition in the petals. But before I get to that, I'm giving it a light spin just to spread it out a bit on the canvas. So that spinning creates a centrifugal force, and that force spreads the petals out from the center outwards. So it's nice, to be able to spin your work. There you go. I'm using the bamboo stick now. I'm pulling some of the paint from the outside of the edges of the petals, using the bamboo stick to move that paint to the center. And that creates, a definition between the petals, but it also gives your bloom a 3D look. It looks like it will appear as though your petals are overlapping each other just by a simple move of a bamboo stick, pulling some of that white paint through the petals to the center of the bloom will give you that effect. Simple, but really, really makes a big difference. Just playing around with the edges a bit, pulling now from the inside, a little bit to the outside. And then I'm going to bring you down for your close-up. So at this point, I have 2 blooms on my canvas, and I'm really happy with what I'm seeing. I'm absolutely thrilled with the colors. It looks like a pomegranate has exploded on this canvas. So here's your closer look. Super, super happy with those. Look at those pomegranate pips. The lacing in this painting is just absolutely gorgeous. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and thank you for joining me.